So to get started on my Zentangle, I can use a regular pencil, or I can go ahead and just use a colored pencil. If you have a pen or a permanent marker, you can also use that as well if you would like thicker lines. Definitely use a regular pencil if you think you might want to erase. Colored pencil does erase, but not as well, so it's up to you. I'm going to just go ahead and use my black colored pencil because it won't smudge as much as a regular pencil will. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shape to start my Zentangle. And I'll show you two different examples on the same sheet of paper. And you could do the whole body of an animal. I'm just going to give you some simple examples, and you should go ahead and do whatever you're inspired to do for your Zentangle. So then once you have a shape, the outline of a shape, we are going to go and we're going to make some lines through our shape. So I'm just going to kind of start on one spot of the shape. I'm going to make some curvy lines to the other end of the shape, and I'm just going to do that a few times to sort of divide the shape I made into pieces. So I like how that looks on that one, and then I'm going to go ahead, go over to this cat creature, do the same thing. There, so there's some nice curvy lines on that cat face. And then I'm going to make patterns in all of these new shapes I made on the inside of my drawing. So let's brainstorm a few different patterns you can make. Use your imagination. I'm going to show you a few patterns that I like to make. So here we are, patterns. So if you had different shapes, I'll just put some shapes here. We have a lot of nice sort of freeform shapes in our drawing as well. So some different kinds of patterns. You could do stripes, for example. That would be a way to fill that shape. You could do like a zigzag stripe. It's still like a stripe pattern, but it's with zigzags. You could do little dots. Like I'm making lots of little circles. The little dots I could color in. And then use your imagination. Think of some other patterns. I kind of like this swirly, kind of viney pattern with these lines. Could do something like that. So a pattern is anything that repeats itself. So that's how we describe a pattern usually in art class. So I like this pattern for this shape, and then let me think of one more pattern. I think I kind of like this swirly sort of pattern. These spirals, you can make nice spirals. And I'm sure you can use your imagination and come up with a lot of different patterns, probably even more than what I can just think of off the top of my head. So this one is just an example for you to see some patterns, and then I'm going to go back to my Zentangle that I'm working on here. So I have two different Zentangles that I'm working on, and I'm going to start to make patterns in all of these new shapes that I made with my lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so now I have patterns added to all of the shapes of my Zentangle. And at this point, I'm almost ready to color in my doodles, my Zentangle doodles. But before I do that, sometimes when I add the pattern into my Zentangles, I like to darken some of my lines if I feel like I lost some of my lines when I made the pattern. So like here, for example, I might go with my pencil and sort of darken this line. So then I can tell where my border lines are and which is the pattern lines, and then which are these like lines that keep the different kinds of patterns separate from each other. So I like to darken up some of my lines in my design afterwards. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is up to you. It's definitely just a preference if you like the lines darker or not. So you can just go ahead and press a little bit harder with your pencil and go back over some of the lines that you might want to darken up. Okay, as you can see, I also went in with my black colored pencil and added some eyes, a nose, and a mouth for my cat. Okay, I'm done with my black colored pencil now. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more of my colored pencils out, and now it is time to color in my Zentangle. So this is the fun, meditative part of this exercise. You can have your colored pencils out, and you can go ahead and select as many colors as you want and color in your Zentangle. One thing I also wanted to show you is if you're using a pack of colored pencils that doesn't have that many colors in it, you can also achieve different shades or values of color by pressing down with different pressure with your pencil. So here I've pressed down heavy with this green colored pencil. This is the same green colored pencil here in this pattern, but I've just used my pencil a lot lighter. Notice how I'm holding the pencil further back. When I'm pressing down harder, I'm holding it towards the tip. When I want to go lighter, I'm holding the pencil further in the back, and it's easier to achieve a lighter shade. So let's go ahead and use this blue. I pressed heavy here with the blue, and I'm going to pick a different spot where I want the same color blue but a lighter shade. I think I'm going to do it here. So this is the same blue colored pencil, but I'm holding the colored pencil further back, and I am just coloring lightly with that same colored pencil, and I am achieving two really different values of this color blue. And that concludes our video about how to make a Zentangle doodle. I hope you can let your imagination flow during this exercise and you can enjoy the creative process. I think these are a lot of fun to make, and I can't wait to see what you make when you make a Zen doodle. Happy art making!